So let me ask you something. When you hear the words charitable giving, what comes to mind? Maybe it's dropping a few dollars in the charity box at synagogue or at home or at church. Maybe it's writing a check at year end because your accountant reminded you it's tax deductible. Or maybe it's something bigger, sponsoring a cause that changed your life, donating stocks to your alma mater, or leaving a legacy gift to your will. However you picture it, here's the truth. Charitable giving is one of the most powerful financial planning tools you have. It's not just about lowering taxes, though it may do that. It's about aligning your money with your values. It's about making sure your wealth tells a story long after you're gone. Today is October 10th, 2025, and this is your Friday planning video. I want to walk you through some ways how to give intentionally in ways that matter to you, benefits the causes you love, and fit into a broader financial plan that supports your family and your future. Now, before I begin, as I always do, I want to remind you that since some of the topics we'll discuss and deal with tax planning for this topic, I'm not an accountant and I'm not giving personal tax advice. This is one of those important times to get together with your tax advisor to confirm what any planned giving will mean to your tax plan. Now, let's start here. Why do we even talk about giving in the context of financial planning? Why does charitable giving belong in financial planning? Because money has three possible destinations. You can spend it, you can save it or invest it, or you can give it away. That's it. Every dollar you earn eventually lands in one of those buckets. Now, most planning conversations focus on the first two, how much you're spending and how much you're saving. I know we've talked about a lot about that. Whether you're investing wisely, whether you have enough for retirement, all important questions. But the third bucket, giving, it's just as crucial because giving doesn't just move money out of your account, it transforms lives, organizations, and communities. And just as importantly, it transforms you. Since we've been talking about the sandwich generation in past weeks, let's connect the dots. When you're caught between supporting kids and helping aging parents, charitable giving can feel like a luxury. Who has room for generosity when tuition bills and medical expenses are hitting all at the same time? But here's what I've seen. When families give, even in tight seasons, they anchor themselves. They remind themselves of what matters most. They pass down those values to their kids. And when giving is built into the plan, it doesn't feel like an afterthought. It feels like a part of the story. There are many faces of giving. Charitable giving isn't a one size fits all. Let's look at some of the main approaches. Now, let's start with outright gifts. This is the simplest forms, writing a check, swiping a card, or giving cash. These days, many of you are getting that chance to do this a lot with these new crowdfunding options. This happens a lot with texts and emails from friends and family asking you to give to their causes. This is immediate, flexible, and it's impactful. It's not always the most tax efficient, and it is important to note, it's also good to check to be sure that those requests you're getting are legitimate. Now let's move to donor advised funds. Think of these like a charitable investment account. You put money in, you get an immediate tax deduction, and then recommend grants to charities over time. Great for people who want to give strategically, especially if you have a year with unusually high income. There's a lot of planning that can be done with this, and the next two options as well. I've spoken a lot about those, but for donor advised funds, one of my favorite things is the use that one of my longtime clients has used. Does your family get together for holidays or big events, maybe multiple generations? This fund is a great way to teach philanthropy. Have every person bring their recommended donations and have them explain them. I love this. It's one of my favorites. Also used with donor advised funds, but appreciated securities can be more than just great wealth builders. Donating stock instead of cash can be incredibly tax smart. You may avoid capital gains and your charity gets the full value. Just a quick example. You bought a stock for $10,000. It's now worth $25,000. If you sell, you owe taxes, capital gain taxes on $15,000 of gains. If you donate that stock directly, no tax, and the charity gets all $25,000. Finally, one I talk about a lot, qualified charitable distributions. Now, if you're over 70 and a half, you can direct up to $100,000 a year from your IRA straight to charities. It counts towards your required minimum distribution, but it isn't included in your taxable income like most RMD is. For many retirees, this is one of the best tools out there. As we've discussed the ideas of the new IRA law creating a tax time bomb, this is an important part of the planning. Finally, let's touch on legacy giving, bequests and wills, naming charities as beneficiaries of retirement accounts, setting up charitable trusts. This is where giving becomes a part of your story, not just something you do, but something you leave behind. This is such a great topic to discuss. Please let me know if you want to meet about this. Again, I'm not an accountant, but let's touch on the tax benefits and the real benefit. Now, I'll be honest, many people get excited about the charitable giving because of the tax benefits. And yes, the benefits are real. Deductions may lower your taxable income. Donating appreciated assets can often avoid some capital gains. And QCDs, as qualified charitable distributions, those reduce taxable distributions for your RMD. But if all we talk about is taxes, we miss the point. The real benefit of charitable giving is this: it lets you take control of where your money goes. Think about it. If you don't give, what happens? The IRS is going to decide for you. That money leaves your account in the form of taxes, and you don't get a say on how it's used. But when you give intentionally, you decide. You direct your dollar to the causes, organizations, and communities that reflect your values. You shape the story. How do we go about aligning your giving with your values? How do we do that? How do you give in a way that makes you feel that that's all aligned? Here are a few questions I often ask. What organizations or causes have shaped your life? Where do you see needs that break your heart? What values do you want to pass down to your kids or grandkids? And then one of my favorites, if someone read your charitable giving record in 50 years, what would they learn about you? Those questions get to the heart of it because giving isn't just about moving money, it's about meaning. As I mentioned, teaching the next generation is one of my favorite parts of this job, and philanthropy is no exception. I believe charitable giving is one of the most powerful ways to teach your kids about values. As I've mentioned, I've seen the families set up giving meetings once a year. Everyone, parents, kids, and sometimes grandkids, they come together to discuss where they want to give. They allocate a pool of money and they vote or agree on causes. The kids learn that money isn't just for spending on themselves, it's for impact, it's for responsibility, it's for others. That's a legacy money cannot buy. Before we close out, let's discuss avoiding pitfalls. A quick word of caution: not all of giving is wise giving. Overgiving. Now, I've seen families get so eager to give that they jeopardize their own retirement. Remember, you can't help others if you made yourself dependent on your kids. Unverified charities. This is a big one. Make sure the organizations you support are legitimate and efficient. A quick look at their financials on watchdog sites like Charity Navigator, they can help. Emotional giving without a plan. Now, it's easy to say yes to every request. A plan helps you say yes strategically and no gracefully. Integrating giving into your plan is where the real planning comes in. Charitable giving shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be built into your financial architecture alongside retirement, estate planning, risk management, and investments. To cite some parts of that, it means setting annual giving goals, choosing the right tools like donor advised funds or appreciated stock or qualified charitable distributions, coordinating your tax strategy with your tax advisor, and revisiting regularly to make sure it still aligns with your values and your circumstances. When you do that, giving stops being reactive, it becomes proactive, intentional, and deeply fulfilling. Stories that inspire you. Let me share two quick stories. One client that had a windfall, sold a business, faced a huge tax bill. Instead of just paying it all to the IRS, we set up a donor advised fund. He got the deduction, but more importantly, he built a giving vehicle his kids now help him manage. It turned into a family tradition. Another client in her late 70s used qualified charitable distributions from her IRA. Every year, she directs money to the synagogue and to her local food bank. She loves that her required distributions go straight to causes that she cares about, and she doesn't have to worry about the tax hit. Now, these aren't just financial moves, they're life moves. They tell stories. So let me ask again: when someone looks back at your life, what will your money say about you? Will it tell a story of consumption or accumulation? Or will it tell a story of generosity, justice, and impact? Charitable giving is one of the rare planning strategies that gives back twice. It benefits the world outside of you and enriches the life within you. So don't leave it as an afterthought. Make it intentional, make it a habit, make it part of your plan. Because when you give with intention, you don't just write checks, you write a legacy. Let's add this to our next meeting. Even if you're not ready to set everything up now, let's start to have that conversation. For now, have a great weekend and keep planning.